Um, hey guys. I look like a mess. Um, and I am a mess. I've been it, it's been a weird past couple of weeks. Um, and if I sound emotional, it's because well, I am right now. Um, and I've had a lot of things on my mind lately that I have no idea. I'm completely at a loss of how to deal with. I'm and of course I I'm sure some people who, if you're watching this, you probably noticed there's a big theme in my videos that I have a really, really hard time talking to anyone on emotional level of any kind because I, I've always had this problem. It's nothing new. I've been dealing with this my entire life, and there's always the things, the stereotypical you're supposed to be a man so men don't cry, and there's always this higher expectation that I'm supposed to have of myself, and I generally hold myself to, that's been implanted in me through my life, my experiences, and the people that I grew up with. Right? So let's just get that out of the way right then. I love my family. I love people that I'm close to. I love the people that I look up to every day. And it's really, really tough to open up. Like, I only just told my mother for the first time that I was writing books, that I actually achieved my goals with my books. I'm like just shy of 500 words to hitting 30,000, and it's some of the most amazing shit that I've ever written. It's some of the most amazing shit that I'm ever going to do. And I'm okay with that. But I've never really talked about it very much with anybody. I've told my best friend, he's practically my brother at this point, Nick. I talk to him. I don't talk to him as regularly as I used to because life. Life is getting in the way. He he has his whole other life that I don't want to interfere with, that I don't want to interject myself into, because he already has his own struggles. He already has his own problems right now. He got an apartment with his girlfriend, who's he's going to propose to. This is the woman that he loves. This is the woman that he's going to marry. Okay? And I love that for him. He deserves that. He worked hard for that. He's been through a lot to get where he is. I was there at some of his worst moments in terms of relationships. I'm the one who had to sit there and shake him awake from a shitty situation that he had found himself into relationship wise. I had to stand there while we were at work and tell him that he was getting taken advantage of because he refused to say it out loud. I had to stand there and tell him. It wasn't easy, but he needed to hear it. And that was probably the best thing that I ever did for him. Because immediately after that, what was it? Not even a year after that, he met this girl. He loves this girl. her parents love him, and it's been the best relationship that he's ever had in his life. And now they have an apartment together up north, and they're doing great. He still works here in Effingham. He still works here further south, but he worked on a compromise somewhere between here and Chicago up north to live with her. And that is incredible. It's amazing. And so I haven't been talking to him as often as I would like to, because I don't want to get in the way. He doesn't need a third wheel holding him down. And it's been on my mind more and more. It's been on my mind more and more lately about where I've come from, what I've gone through, the things that I've lived through, the things that I've done, things that I've tried to do, the person I've tried to be, the person I wanted to become. And it's safe to say that I am a colossal disappointment. I I don't want to say that I've wasted my life, because there's so much in my life that I wouldn't trade for anything. But it's all the lost potential of what I could have, that really it really hits me. I it feels like I'm going in circles all the time. It always feels like, no matter how much up the hill I try to get to, I always somehow end up just on the other side of it, still at the bottom, right back where I started. And that hurts. It hurts a lot to have to wake up every day and realize how much of a failure I must look like to everyone and anyone around me, how much of a burden I must be. I don't know. I struggle a lot with being alone. I really do. It's where the worst parts of my nature come out. It's where I'm the angriest, it's where I'm the most depressed, it's where I'm the most antithetical version of myself that I could have ever hoped to achieve. Like, just the last couple of days alone, I've done nothing but lay in bed and do nothing, because I can't even gather up the energy to get out of bed. I used to be so so much better than this. And I don't know what happened. I don't know where I let myself fall so far to where I was right back here. And I don't think it's a lack of self awareness. I think it's more along the lines of I'm losing the battle with myself. Losing the battle against everything I don't see. And it's heartbreaking. There are so many days. There's so many days that I wonder, like, is like are some people right? Like, what if I am really just that bad of a guy? What if I am just that much of an asshole, that much of a douchebag that I just don't care? And I have all of these goals that I want to achieve, and even when I do achieve them, even when I do get as far as I hoped I would, sometimes even further than I thought I would, it feels empty. It feels like I've achieved nothing at all, and I don't know why. Most people don't get to where I get in terms of writing. Most people give up not even halfway through the process. Most people don't even try to contact a publisher to try and garner interest. Most people don't make it 30,000 words into their own universe. Most people don't have the entirety of their 3 books that they've had planned, that they planned for years, inside of their own head. Most people don't get that far. It's a sad fact. It's a sad fact that most prospective writers don't get that far. Even if their concept is immaculate, it's incredible, it's amazing. Most writers don't get that far. And then there are some writers who continue to stew in mediocrity despite their potential, who continue to just write the same things over and over and over and over again because it's the only thing they think they know how to. Even though they could achieve so much more. Sorry, and staring at the screen at 6. I struggle a lot with my own uh, crippling loneliness, I guess you could call that. my own um inadequacy. And it's almost it's literally and figuratively tearing me apart. It's it's crushing me to the point that I can't even get out of my own bed, to the point where I can't even muster up the like I can't even be consistent with my own scheduling. I I fought for quite a long time to get back on a normal schedule so I could get a normal job and return to a sense of normalcy. And it just it, I don't know what it is. It's I just can't seem to do it, and I don't know why. I've done it before. I used to do it all the time. I used to have so much more energy to be a a functioning member of society, to actually contribute to I I did it for 5 years. I've had two jobs over the course of my YouTube career. I held a job. To be fair, it was a shitty job. I held that job for 4 years, and I did a damn good job. I held myself to that higher standard that I always do, to always go out of my way to at least try to go above expectations. But it becomes the problem where I just devolve into a non-stop workaholic. I just never stop working, and then everything else suffers for it. And it completely debilitates other thing aspects of my life too, because I don't have money to go out and go socialize. I don't have money to go into areas that I normally used to meet people. I used to talk to so many more people on a daily basis. I used to know so many more people. I used to be friends with so many more people. And now it's not that I don't have that. There are people that I can talk to and that I do talk to. Like there's this one person I've been talking to regularly, where we've been getting into calls almost every single night before we go to bed. Or in my case, I don't go to sleep at night anymore. I sleep during the day again. I've completely reverted back into being a night owl, a nocturnal dweller, if you will. And I don't know, and we just talk about random shit. But I think we connect on a really good level, and probably one of the most it's probably one of the more natural connections that I've had with a person in a long time. Excuse me. But then there's always that it's always that lurking insecurity that has to keep reminding of of who I am, what I am, to keep reminding me that no matter how hard I try, no matter how hard I want to be around people, to be with people, I will always ultimately end up getting left behind. And I'm not stupid enough, I'm not naive enough to believe that people can be friends forever. It's it's never going to happen. People come in and out of your life all the time. And you can't develop that kind of connection with everybody, otherwise you're just going to be heartbroken all the time. But there are some people, there are some times that they come into your life, they make that impact that you thought you needed, thought that you were finding some special connection that you were having with someone, and then it ends instantly, just as quickly as they showed up. That boom, they're gone. And it doesn't matter if it was because you got into a fight. It doesn't matter if it was just because you drifted apart. It doesn't matter if you knew them for years and they just didn't. You don't mesh well together anymore. It doesn't matter if, like in Mania, in Aurora's case, like we were friends for years, and we connected on a level that most friends don't connect. She was my best friend. She was someone I trusted implicitly, someone that I opened up to, was emotionally and completely vulnerable, to only be stabbed in the back at the most opportune moment when it suited her and steal everything that I wanted to work on. And then continue to play it off as if it was my fault, as if it was because of me. And I've talked about this call that we had. What was it, last year? March, after a heated exchange about the Mystic Hills watch party. I remember having this conversation with her, and it was something that she said that actually stuck with me. Where it was my trip to meet her in person. It was that trip that really solidified to her, for some reason or another. She never explained, she never told me. She just said sometimes you can feel when that you're not really going to be good friends if you meet. And I don't know if that was just a deflection of what she did. I don't know if it was truthful. I don't know what it was. But it stuck with me because there are some days that I look back to that, like, what did I do wrong? I was friendly, I was courteous. If I stepped over the line, I apologized. I tried to be as respectful and as kind as I always was. I Even more so because I was meeting her parents, I was meeting her friends, I was meeting the people that she lives around all the time. Well, lived around all the time. I met her best friend August. Um, and it seemed fine. I don't know where at any point where I could have possibly stepped over a line. But apparently that was the instigating incident that caused her to disengage our close friendship without even telling me, by the way. It was never explicitly stated at any point that that was the reason why. She just started distancing herself from me. not talking to me as much, not trusting me as much, shutting me out in almost every way she could, as if she was already prepping to just throw me out, regardless. And in a lot of ways, it seemed, the more I think about it, it just seemed like she was looking for any and all excuse to just get rid of me. Despite my continued unwavering support, my continued unwavering dedication to our friendship. And that was what I got. And I think in a lot of ways, yes, that messed me up. It messed me up bad. The fallout of that is probably the worst. Like 2020 was the worst year of my life. I've said it before. It pushed me back to a point that I thought I would never have to deal with it. A type of depression, a type of low that I never thought I'd have to confront again in my life. And it was awful. It was the worst thing that I've ever had to deal with personally. And I've already admitted before, yes, I lashed out. Yes, I was a douchebag. Yes, I was an asshole. But what else was I supposed to do? I fought back because I thought I'd been wrong. I fought back because I thought I'd been stolen. I fought back because I'd been stabbed in the back. 5 years later, and this knife wound in my back hasn't healed. It's still just as fresh, just as tender as it was 5 years ago when it actually happened. And as far as I know at this point, like, there's zero chance of communication. There is zero chance of fixing it because she's just decided to never address it again. Which isn't really different from how she's treated the situation from the start. She's refused to actually talk about it and actually give anything substantial to that. I'm going off on a tangent. I had no intention of talking about her in this video. It's gonna happen one way or another. It's something that still bothers me to this day, and anyone who doesn't expect me to ever not talk about it is delusional. It's going to be talked about. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to say stuff about it because it still fucking hurts. Sorry. I I I've been rapidly approaching my breaking point for a long. I really think so. It's just been a slow uh, devolvement of myself as a person for quite a long. Um, the falling out with Mania, or Aurora, I don't think the fallout with Aurora was only an ingredient to the greater whole. It was more so around the time that I lost my previous job, hospital, because I was working at the hospital, and it just kind of solidified to me that I don't know where along the period of events, the timetable, that I stopped being able to handle uh everyday normal life, but it was very clear to me after that, and it only got worse as time's gone. Cause fuck, I I would more than love to be able to just wake up one day and have the ability to just go get a new job, pretend everything else that happened before didn't happen, and move on. And I don't have the ability to do that. I just don't. And like there are people in my life who have chastised me for it, who've told me that I'm just being a whiny bitch about it all the time. And I'm like, I agree, but it's not something I can just turn off. As much as I would love to be able to just wake up and pretend not to give a shit, as much as a front as I put up sometimes, as much of an asshole as you think I can be, deep down there's parts of me that still give a shit, even when you think I'm not. Even when I'm being the biggest douchebag, even when I'm being an asshole, there are parts of me that still care. You have to majorly wrong me in a very, very tangible way for me to just give up on you completely. Otherwise, my doors are always open. My DMs are always open. My number is always open for you to call me, to talk to me, because I just don't shut people out. I don't like doing it because I don't like it when people do it to me. It's the oldest saying in the book. Treat people how you want to be treated. I don't shut anyone out who I feel deserve a second chance because I don't like being shut out. I don't like being told to fuck off. I don't like feeling like I'm a burden. I don't like feeling that I'm the problem. So why would I instigate that? Why would I put that on anyone else? And it boggles my mind that some people think that I do that. Like, they think I'm intentionally trying to be malicious in some way. And in those cases, I just need to stop. I need to stop myself. And that was kind of a big thing at the start of the year, is just to just stop. Like, there are just some people that you can't negotiate with because they've already made up their minds about you. There's no kinds of explanations that you can give to certain people that will ever entertain the possibility of stepping down from their position, because fundamentally people don't like being told that they're wrong. They just don't. It's a fundamental truth. People don't like being told that they're wrong. People don't like being told that what their beliefs are bullshit. But sometimes you need to be told that. Like, even me, there are even times where I wish people had told me that how I was going about things, how I was doing things was bullshit and was the worst choice possible to navigate a certain situation. And in a lot of ways, I would have agreed with them if I'd seen it. I have made mistakes. I have handled situations badly in certain situations. But I don't think that's any reason to just shut someone out because you've had one disagreement. Because you have a specific belief that you have that you can't, that you believe separates you from someone else. Even though fundamentally it's just we have different beliefs, we have different things that we take value in. I don't think, like, even me and Nick, like I said it not that long ago. He's practically my brother. Like he's my best friend, my closest friend, and even we don't agree on everything. And I think that's healthy that we don't agree on everything because then we can talk to each other about our perspectives. And sometimes he sways me, and sometimes I sway him on certain. That's how discourse works. That's how conversations work. Compromise and understanding. And it just seems like there's none of that anymore. And it seems like people are just content to fight until there's no one else left to fight. Till your belief is the only belief. And that's incredibly destructive in every sense. I've uh I've kind of gone off on a tangent again. Sorry. I don't know. That's kind of been my mindset always. Is I'm not afraid of being hated. I'm not afraid of being ostracized. I'm not afraid of failing. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm not afraid of being forgotten. I'm afraid of being alone. I'm afraid of being abandoned. I'm afraid that no matter what I do, no matter what I try to change, no matter how I try to be the better person that I can be, all I'll always end up with is nothing. And I have no idea how to deal with it. I don't know how to cope with it. There there are days where I lay in bed and I just wonder, what does anyone ever see in me? What intrinsic value do I even have? If I were to disappear tomorrow, would anyone realize that I was, would anyone care? And I know that sounds cliche, loner type thoughts, but it's true. It is true. Who would miss me when I'm gone? I don't have good relationships with my younger siblings, so they wouldn't care. As much as I love my mother and I think that my mother loves me, I think that it there are some days where I think she wishes that I just wasn't around. that I just didn't exist. I'm closest with my older sister because we grew up together. We lived in the same house for almost our entire lives. She probably understands me more than anybody in the world, but she has a husband and two kids, my niece and my nephew. My my grandparents were very loving, kind people. They taught me everything I knew about trying to be open and kind to other people, being accepting of how other people think, how other people feel. My uncle John, one of the best men I've ever known, showed me what it looks like to be a real man, to what it really looks like. The man came into my aunt's life and loved her son as if it was as if he was her, he was his, and mourned just as hard when Bubba passed away in his accident. And that's who Bubba was to me. He was my older brother. He may have just been my cousin, but he was my older brother. He was everything I wanted to aspire to be. Strong, smart, and he was kind. And that's what I wanted to be. And there are just times where I look at my life and I think about my life and how much I actually took for granted. All the connection and the understanding I used to have, all the people that I used to talk to, all the people that I connected with. And I would give anything to go back. I'd give anything to go back. I'd give anything to go back to those days where I wasn't alone. to where I wasn't a failure. I wasn't hiding away. You know, I haven't been to Bubba's grave in over 10 years. How pathetic is that? I loved the guy like he was my brother, and I haven't gone to see him because I was too afraid to show how much of a failure I was, even to a dead kid. Bubba didn't make it past 16, and I outlived him. And I know I don't deserve it. I've written all these amazing things for my books, and I know I don't deserve it. I I've wasted 8 years of my life making stupid little YouTube videos that nobody watches, and I know I don't even deserve that. And it doesn't matter what I'll do, it doesn't matter how far I'll get. I know that I will always feel like I don't deserve any of it because I don't. I just don't. There's not really anything you can say. There's not really anything you can do. I will never feel like I was worthy enough, deserving enough to have things. And there are some days that I wish that I had had the the balls to pull the trigger, the to just end it, done with it. But I couldn't even do that right. Sorry. I know I shouldn't get so and say stuff. But that's just what my life is now. Is finding another to, to keep pushing forward, keep moving, and I keep getting slapped down, getting reminded of all my inadequacy and failure, and how I will never truly be deserving enough to have anything or any. That that realization, that understanding hurts. It hurts like hell. There are a lot of people, I guarantee that even you right now watching this, there's probably some part of you that's saying, hey, it can't be that bad. It is that. Every day is hell trying to navigate my own thoughts, trying to navigate my own brain. The emotional agony that I am in every single day would shatter you. But I would never wish this on anyone else. I would never wish this on any. I I made the decision a long time ago that I would never have kids for a multitude of reasons. Number one, whatever it is that I have, I don't want it passed on. Whatever it is that makes me think this way, that makes me feel this way all the time, I don't want to give that to my kid. As much as I would want to be dad, as much as I would want to be somebody's rock, somebody, as much as I would love to be those things, I know that I would never be able to live up to that. I'd never be able to will that on another human being. And it makes me wonder if me being perpetually alone, never finding anyone, is a blessing in disguise. Because you can't disappoint anybody. You don't have. I'm not that far away from being 30. What? What am I gonna do then? I'm still stuck down here. I might as well kill myself at that point. Because what could I possibly offer the world at that point? I I don't know. I there are a lot of days that I could just drown in a bottle crying because at least I know that that would be better than this feeling what I'm going through. And I don't know how to I don't know where to go from here. I don't know how to deal with this pain, this emptiness in I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know. I don't even know what I was trying to achieve talking about it, being open about it. I know it doesn't mean anything to you as a viewer. It means literally nothing, and no one's even gonna get this far into this kind of anyway. The kind of retention that I get for any kind of video, usually 5 seconds. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. It's almost 5:30 in the morning. I'm probably just gonna go cry myself to sleep because it's the only thing I can do. I've been on the cusp of breaking down almost 3 different times over the course of the video. There are days that I dream of having a different life, of having something, only to wake up and understand and fully have it come crashing down on me that I have nothing, that I am nothing. And it doesn't matter where I go from here. I've already said it. Even if I were to get everything that I wanted, even if my books were a massive success, even if I were to get that apology from Aurora finally, even if I were to reconnect with the people that I want to reconnect with, I know that deep down I would never feel like I know deep down that it should be anyone, someone, anyone but me in that kind of pain, because I will never deserve it. And I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to fix. I don't know what's broken in me to cause that. I wish I knew. I wish I knew what it was that got fucked up, that got messed up in me all those years ago, that truly debilitated me to the point I can't even function. I don't know. I'm I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted of waking up every day and exhausted of being stuck here, not being able to do anything to fix it. I'm tired of being vilified, even though I try so hard to be as open and as accepting as I know that I can be. I'm so tired of being backed against the wall by my own thoughts, by my own inadequacies. I'm so tired of not having the energy to function properly. I'm so tired of not being able to bear the weight of my own thoughts. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Anyway, I should stop before I actually have a full breakdown on camera. I've done that before. I'm never going to do it again. The difference between this time and last time is that I was drunk last time. I so so just wish I had someone, anyone, to be here and tell me that I will get through it, that I'll be okay. That's generally all I ever need. It's just someone to tell me that I'm going to be okay. That I'm trying my best. But then I have to wake up and face reality and realize it's never gonna happen. Um, I'm gonna get older and watch everybody I know move on and find happiness. And I want that for them. I need that for them. Because I don't want anybody to be as miserable as I am. I don't want anyone to ever have to feel this way. I just I can't look at anything nowadays without having to be reminded, without having my brain remind me how alone, how cut off from everything, and how it won't get any better. Even if I were to try, it would never. I have tried reaching out and meeting talk, and it just never seems to work. It never ends. It's always just one conversation, one argument away from being over, and I am terrified. Just, just don't know. I don't know what to do. The things I would do right now to not be this, to not be me. But I'm not supposed to be able to say that. I'm supposed to like me, and I can't. I can't like. I hate it, and I probably hate myself more than anyone in the world. I do truly hate. If I could kill me, I would, but I can't. So I'll just continue having this burden on and going, and by the point that I do manage to accomplish anything of any kind of consequence, I'll have already pissed my life away. Probably. I can't afford to have any kind of to have any kind of because all they've ever done is take advantage. They latch onto it. They for them. I oh, I've been riding that line of probably longer than I realize. get over because the only person I can ever count on is myself. As selfish and as much of a douchebag as that makes me sound, it's, it's the truth. I I can't count on anyone else. I literally cannot push myself to count on because all it does is make me feel like I'm a failure. It's why I don't talk to Nick as much as I would like to. It's why I don't bother my sister, mother, don't bother my grandparents. I haven't seen my grandparents in months. I haven't connected with my own family in months because I know if I do, all it will do is ruin whatever it is I'm trying. And I'm tired of ruining other people's happiness. I'm tired of ruining other people because it's all it seems that I can do. So no matter what I want, I probably am better off never actually getting it because I'd probably destroy it too. Anyway, I'm done. I I should have stopped 20 minutes ago.